What's going on, everybody? Thank y'all again for tuning in to another episode of the Dope Sessions podcast. My name is Kelvy, and I have a very, very special guest, as always. What I want to say about this guest is that we've been communicating for a while, and this is really just like our first, like, face-to-face interaction.
Yeah.
But like since the beginning of our friendship and brotherhood, like it's always been like, hey bro, like that's bro, like, and
yeah. instant click,
right,
click, yeah,
right. It just was an instant click right there, but this guy is not only like just a dope person, dope father, but he is also a dope producer, DJ. This man is so dope, and we'll get into that as well. But ladies and gentlemen, I want to introduce to you guys Cordell Brown, or as I know him as Squabbles.
Thank you for having me on. I really appreciate this. I know it's like number one, the first time actual interaction. It's like I don't even remember how we even met. I just know like it just feels like we've always been friends, always had that, that connection. It's like it's there, it's natural,
Yeah, very, very much so. And then like I kept saying in my mind, I was like, I don't remember how we met. I think it was Facebook. I think it was Facebook.
I know it was that, but how? I couldn't tell you.
And like, it's just one of those things. It's like we both can't remember, but it's just like from that moment, it's just been like, that's brother right there. How's everything going with you, man, as far as like, you and the family and, just being creative and stuff like that, especially with going on now with COVID-19 and now, with the death of Floyd. It's just like, how are you doing, bro?
Man, it is. Some days are better than others. Feel like our community is kind of getting attacked by two different pandemics at once. You know what I mean? And we got COVID pandemic, but we also got the brutality pandemic going on. So it's like not catching the break. So trying to stay positive. Trying to keep my kid busy as positive. Family of life, my girl, her daughters. Trying to making sure everybody's happy. Producing, like it is a good outlet for me. Sometimes it's better days, sometimes worse days. Sometimes I can like knock a song out left or right. Sometimes like I'll start as like, you know what, I'm gonna delete the whole file, not feeling it, and won't even work for like the next few days. It's like just gotta find that right mood.
Right.
But yeah, it's up and down. It's up and down.
And man, it's like that. It's like that. I think for all of us, especially me. Like some days, I'm like I can be super creative, and then there's other days where I'm just like I don't feel like wanting to do anything right now. Right. But I think it's good to have those moments. You know what I'm saying? It's like I think it's good to have those moments because it's like especially when you're not doing something, like I think, it kind of helps you reflect a little bit. And then like for me, I can reflect and then like something like that, I'm like, okay, now I can get back to like creating or thinking about something. You're not originally from Chicago. You're from
No, sir. I'm actually from Baton Rouge, Louisiana.
Oh, okay. So, you born and raised and everything. So what brought you to Chicago?
What I like to answer that question with is Katrina, school, and I'm not a big fan of the South. You know,
Okay.
every bad thing you hear about the South is 99% of it's real. So you know, it's like I'm over it.
Okay.
I'm over it.
Yeah.
And I wanted to come up. I originally wanted to go to school for art therapy, and one of the only schools at the time was one of the, I think it was like 3 or 4 schools that provided a full course, and that was the Art Institute of Chicago. And my brother was already up here going to the Art Institute, so he was like, "Bro, ain't nothing down in the South for you. You already graduated, you know, high school. There's nothing for you. Come up here." It's like, and you're right. Yeah. So came up, tried to do that for a little bit. School just too expensive. Woo. Woo.
Yeah. Like, yeah, I know. Firsthand. Cause you know, most everybody probably knows I'm born and raised here in Chicago. The school I went to was Columbia College, and that was super expensive.
Yeah,
super expensive, bro.
Yeah.
So
it adds up real quick.
Yeah. Oh yeah, for real. And like before you know it, it'd be like, you can't come back until you pay this. You're like, man, I'm like, dude, I'm on my last year. Like,
right.
Man, it's crazy.
So then you got 3 cars under your belt. Like, I can't afford this. Yeah.
So so you said you were going to school for art therapy.
Yeah.
That's pretty dope, man. Like, just explain what that entails, like art therapy, what that entails.
Okay, so art therapy is kind of like it falls under a lot of different things, from drawing, painting, and music, just kind of expression through a more physical outlet, kind of like therapy through a more physical outlet. Like a lot of, for instance, you probably even see it in a lot of movies when you see kids expressing themselves through their drawings and their paintings, like, oh, how are you feeling right now? They don't know the words, how to express themselves, but they know how they feel, and they know how to kind of put it into a more physical form if they don't have the vocabulary to do it.
Right.
So art therapy kind of pulls that out of, not just kids, it kind of pulls that out of, you know, people of all age ranges. And it's therapeutic, calming. Sometimes it's upsetting because, you know, you kind of trigger in some people, you know. But yeah, that's what I want to do, because I like helping people. That's my thing. I'm always helping people, especially in the Black community. That was my big thing. That's what I want to do, to help us in our community. Because it's hard finding a Black person in that field of therapy, psychology, and things like that. It's like, yeah, I'm a firm believer, like, therapy is necessary for everybody across the board, and it's so rare for us to try to get that help, because we don't always have access to that help.
Right.
I mean, you know, I'm not some kind of unicorn, some 4-leaf clover. Like, I'm the only one out here, only Black dude out here trying to make a difference, you know, in the psychology of Black people. Right. But it's hard. We don't have. It's not as well known, you know. It's like you have to go search out and just try to find, and it's real hard, you know. I wanted to try to do my part to make that easier. Unfortunately, it got too expensive, so, you know, I'll be, you know, social media justice for right now. Yeah.
DJing and then producing. When did that was that just part of the steps in art, the art therapy, or was that you were already doing that?
I was thinking, like, I started producing when I was 14. Okay. I've been producing for it. I mean, I'm 33 right now. The art therapy has kind of always been a part of my life, because my mom's a therapist, and she's also very vocal in expressing yourself. She's also very vocal in having art a part of your life. So my thing, because I used to draw, I used to paint, that was my thing before I delved more into music production. Like when I found Fruity Loops, it was game over.
Right.
And yeah, man, whew. So I wanted to combine like the therapeutic aspect of the mind with the therapeutic aspect of my art. At the time, was drawing and painting and stuff like that. But then I was realizing more and more how much how music can be a part of all of that. And then I did some more research and like found like there's actually a field where both of those ideas combined are therapy. So I'm like, yeah, that's what I want to do. I want to help fall into that. So at a young age, real young, yeah.
Yeah. So the one thing that because like the one thing that I love about us as a people is that everybody thinks that we're all the same, but we're really not. Like we're not a monolith. And
yeah.
And the one thing that I respect about you and just like your music and what you do is like you have this vast like this music and it's just like, man, like because I like through some of our conversations like because I'm gonna be honest, bro, like you the only black dude I know that spins heavy metal like that.
Yeah.
Talk about with the people I have on the show, just their influence, like music or movies or anything like that. But what were your influences like that molded you to become what you are?
There's actually my two main influences is and for people is my mom and my brother. My mom was always open-minded, always wanted us to explore. Mm-hmm. Like, yeah, we do have our go-to music styles, but I also want you to know that there's more out in the world. She was an opera singer, and I got exposed to like jazz and opera at a real young age. Like one thing I can, one of the many things I remember, my first exposure to opera was a VHS copy of the 1980 something version of Porgy and Bess.
Right.
Which is, yeah, and that clicked into me. Like my mom would let us watch that over and over and over. So me seeing us in like a different light at a very young age constantly really helped me with growing. And on the other side of that is my brother. It's like my brother's 10 years older than me. 10 years older than me. Mm-hmm. And he is one of the biggest influences on probably 95% of my musical taste comes from him. Right. It's like he got me into metal. He got me into a lot of hip hop because like I remember riding around his old tan. I think it was like a Ford Taurus back in when I was in like second grade. Because one minute we listened to like Metallica, but also he'll play the full album of It Takes a Nation,
right.
At the same time. So I'm getting all these influences, and then my mom would put in like like some more opera, some more jazz, funk, and then I kind of build on from that. And then I was exposed at a young age to a lot of ambient music, which is a lot of modern classical, and that's actually what I'm focusing on producing right now. A lot of things I'm putting out is more ambient, more cinematic. So I bounce around a lot, and sometimes that is kind of a detriment to my own kind of path and career because there's no real focus, for lack of a better phrase. There's no real focus.
Right.
But I don't know. It makes me feel good. Like I'll make a hip hop beat one moment. I'll make a drum and bass, track another. And that's my first love to electronic music was drum and bass.
Right.
I'm a big fan of the Amen Brother break. That one kills me every time. I love it. Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, it's a lot, you know, and it just as the years go on, you know, more and more exposure to more and more things, and yeah, just I kind of just build off from there.
Okay. And forgive me if I messed this up, and you can let me know. But your brother is a filmmaker, right?
Yeah. Yep.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay. Because
we work on. Yeah.
yeah, because
No, I'm
I
sorry. Go
remember
on.
I remember I believe I think I think it was like a series of films that he did, and I think you did the music for. I didn't get to see the films, but like I heard you let me listen to some of the music, and I was absolutely like blown away, bro. Like,
Thank you. I
and
appreciate that. Yeah. Thank you.
man,
Yeah, it's we were working on this project called the Lyric Project.
mm-hmm.
You can check it out at the chocolategiant.com.
Okay,
So we have some clips of that, you know, check it out, previews and stuff like that. But like the basic, the general idea of that was like we have just normal folks like you and I would do a spoken word version of songs that have meaning in our lives.
right.
That has like if it's a song that brings up a happy memory, a sad memory, something that happened at a particular time, something that triggers off something in us. So we did 2 seasons of that, and I'm so grateful for all the people that submitted. A lot of people, some people didn't actually get in because like it was just too many people submitting.
Yeah.
But hopefully, you know, things will get back to normal. We can start making some more. Yeah.
Okay. And what was the selection process for like whether did it like depend on like what they submitted as far as like then they had a story behind it? Was it just like what went, you know, for the actual picking of it?
Well, the selection part on our side, I can't speak for my brother, but for me, I didn't really have like a hand in the selection. But it's like whoever submits, you'll get in if we can fit you in, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But we do have people they have to have a song story, means like a background, what it means to them, because like we put that in front of the video before we do the actual songs. Like, hey, this song X, Y, and Z by this band, this time in my life, you know, from a breakup, this song brings back childhood memories. So that will be in front of the song. That was the one caveat that we needed to have for the selection. Like,
right.
Not just sending it like, oh, hey, let me just talk and send it in. Like, you have it. The meaning needs to be there.
Okay.
So yeah.
I wanna bring this up real quick. Just kind of talk about this because like I said, like I can't remember. It was on Facebook. That's kind of how we like met up and just became real cool. But then it was like there was I think I was in the midst of doing a group page or something like that, and you gave you made a playlist for that group, and I was like, man, like I was just listening to all this stuff. I was like, wow, like and it's just like it was one of it. Like I was constantly and that just like really made me like just like honestly like just respect your musical taste and what you like and everything like that. And then something else that I want to bring up too is I had because this coincides of something that me and Cordell is actually working on, but I did a short film called Cards, and I remember just like listening to his music, I was like, man, I was like, can you send me like something for this movie? And he was like, yeah, man. And then it was just like, and he gave me this beat, and the track that he gave me is basically the track that opens and closes the movie. It was so good, and like, and here's something that he doesn't even know as well, so I'm just letting him and everybody else know. When I was doing getting ready for the Black Cinema album that me and Lenny Virgo did,
which is great, which is amazing. By the way, I want to put that in. That woo, fire, bro.
Thank you, bro. I have a song on the album called Thoughts, and the track that you gave me for Cards, right at like literally like kind of like I would say I wrote Thoughts out maybe like a month or so after I finished the movie, and I kept trying to figure out like what kind of beat do I want to write this to, because sometimes I can write without music, and then sometimes I can write with music, and I was just going through stuff, and then I remember this, I pressed play, and I remember your track, and then I started writing, and I wrote Thoughts to that.
Oh snap! I did not know that. All right.
I wrote that song
Nice.
to your track. Like it's nice. Like it was, and then from there, me and Cordell had a talk, and we just like very like-minded like individuals, and just and then we just was like, let's create a crew, like let's create a crew or something like that, and then we created the Lo-Fi Collective.
Make it happen.
Yeah. And it's basically that's just how everything kind of happened, man. It's like, man, and this kind of, I want you to just talk about the process of making that track for that for Cars, and then just going into like us creating Lo-Fi Collective.
All right, yeah. Well, it's actually kind of going to echo what you were saying. It's like like-mindedness and a certain understanding. So like when you're explaining something to me, like it was easy to get the energy that you were trying to describe to me and what you were putting out, and that kind of came through the music. It's like I want to produce something that has the understanding of your words and what you might want. So, and I think I feel like how it came through like that, so why like it clicked so much, because it was kind of a unionship in creation of that song.
Yeah,
I think that's actually how I feel about that. Yeah. That just from understanding you and how your thought process and your actions and your words, and which really aligns a lot with mine, like you were saying. We, our thoughts align alike. Woo, tongue twister. And so when I began, working with the music, that is just kind of try to emulate us through that.
Yeah.
And that was my process. Yeah.
Yeah, and the way that, because I told him the way that I set up the film for Cards was like, initially I kept tossing in my mind, I was like, either this is going to be a 2-act play or a short movie, and really it was like, I was like, if this is going to be a movie, it's probably going to be kind of avant-garde type of, just the way that I wanted to make the film. And I told him all of that, and it was like, and I'm pretty sure he was just like, all right. Like, I wondered, like, it was like, okay, man, just make up your mind. Where's it going to be? And I really like, and at the last minute, I was like, this is going to be a short movie. Like, and I came to you and I was just like, man, can you make a track for me and you came through, man, and then it's just like let's talk about Lo-Fi Collective, and just, you know, from your standpoint, as far as like the Lo-Fi Collective, like, where do you see, you know, where do you see it going? How, you know, where do you see it manifesting to, all of that?
All right. Well, I definitely, because like I think about this a lot actually. I definitely feel like it will be a community,
Mm-hmm.
like an energy around it, because like again, with our feelings and thoughts kind of align, and that's kind of our bond. Because like again, this is our pretty much our first meeting.
Yeah.
But we've known each other for a minute, you know, and I feel like the idea behind it is built within a certain energy that we have, a certain thought process that we have, and then we put that out, and I think people will kind of be attracted to that, you know, and it's kind of be like a hub and spoke system. Is like, this is the base, these are the ideas that spread out, you know, and I think it'll be like a really positive community.
Yeah.
You know, I think that's the feeling, you know, kind of going for something positive, something active, you know, something that is something that's doing something that has a purpose, something that has meaning behind it, and I think that's what I'm trying to go for.
Yeah, most definitely. And like you said, like, I mean, like you said, man, like this, you know, when we were just like throwing out ideas, especially like for the Lo-Fi Collective, it was just like a community of just like like-minded artists, and we just come together, and like, you know, we just help each other out, like, you know, build each other up, you know, spiritually, build each other up artistically. And I'm gonna say this, but I ain't gonna say too much. You know, we haven't done anything in a while as a Lo-Fi Collective, but we actually got something in the works. I'm not gonna go into it. All I can say is fire. So far, it's fire, and we have a name for it. It's called Jazz. That's it. That's all I can say.
Right. ... To be continued.
Right. Excited about it because, you know, even with us, you know, we're doing stuff separately, but, you know, I wanted, you know, because like right after Cards, I kept wanting us to do, you know, something else as a collective, but I know life and everything kind of happens.
Right.
But, you know, now, because it was like, man, when I moved back to Chicago, the first thing I was like, man, me and Cordell, we gonna do this thing. We gonna do this thing, bro. Like Lo-Fi Collective, we gonna do this thing. And I remember hitting you up, and you was like, man, I moved back to Louisiana. I was like, no.
That was the most worst timing of like just two ships passing in the night. It's like, oh, come on now.
and then for like, I mean, but we kept communicating, and, you know, just with the hopes of like, you know, doing some stuff, and you were putting out the albums with the ambient music, and I was working on black cinema stuff, and so, you know, it was just like, and then I think like but this is before you were still putting out the ambient albums, and this was before I started even working on black cinema. One day we just like connected. You was like, man, I'm back in the shot. I was like,
yeah. Let's get it.
Man, but but we like, even like all of that stuff, like we have been saying like, we got to do something together. We got to do something together, and keep this energy, keep this flow, keep everything for the Lo-Fi Collective. And I'm super excited for Jazz, man. Like I said, I'm not gonna say much, but Jazz.
Yeah, I'm pumped, dude. Yeah, I haven't been like fully excited about a project since like ending of the lyric project. It's like I'm pumped.
Yeah.
I'm hyped. I'm hyped.
I want to continue because I want like Cordell said, like this is going to be a community, like-minded individuals who want the best and to be able to help not only ourselves but help each other with their art and everything, man. And I can't wait, bro.
Yeah.
Man. I mean, everything we talked about is super cool, but this is the super coolest, right? Because you have a YouTube show that you're doing with your son that I think is just so dope. So just kind of explain what the show is and everything and what you guys are going to be doing on the show.
All right, so the show is called Old Type Night. It is a super nerdy. It's about Gundams. Gundam is a show it's an anime, old anime from 1979. And they put out plastic models that you can build and make the robot, the mechs from the show. And when I was a kid, I used to build these. And now that I have, he's 9 now, he's really into the show. And he's also into building the models. So I'm thinking like, it's something I've been wanting to do with him for a few years now. But now with all this free time, I can actually, put these plans into motion. And yeah, I'm actually glad you brought that up. It's just two nerds hanging out, building giant robots. Soon we're actually going to be putting out mugs and a little bit of merch once we start kind of get rolling a little bit. Right now, it's just for fun. We got Instagram. You can find us over at Old Type New Type Official. Is old_type_new_type_official.
Okay.
On Instagram. Yeah.
And make sure y'all go.
But we're
Make sure y'all check out because I didn't get to see the second episode, but I saw the first episode. Awesome, man.
Thank you.
Yeah,
thank you. Yeah, I'm really proud of him. Yeah, he's very excited about it. So I'm glad people are checking it out. Getting really good response. Actually, I'm making some original music for that show too. So I bring in a lot of different of my loves for it. So yeah. You're just hanging out with my kids, being nerdy.
And that's a great thing, bro. That's super dope, man. So has your kid picked up on some of the music? Is he wanting to do some of that as well, or?
Yeah. He because I keep trying to outside of school work. Normally by the time we're done, it's already bedtime or dinner, the bedtime. But I try to break out the old the MPC and I have some MIDI keyboards. Trying to mess around with sampling and whatnot. I'd like to get more into it, but time and space, is just that's still kind of limited. Like I got more time now, but so hopefully I'll actually be able to do that more. But we're trying to focus more on the Gundam thing right at the moment. But yeah, he definitely wants to get into the music.
Okay. So is he? Are you getting him to like some of the stuff that you grew up with, some of the stuff you listen to now?
Man, yeah. Yeah, he's I've been molding this boy since day one. One of when he was a baby, when he used to be like crying and whatnot, I used to calm him down with this old drum and bass DJ set from this one of my favorite drum and bass DJ producers called Groove Rider. And every time I would put that mix on, it was an old YouTube video and it had little visuals and whatnot. Instantly calm him down. He's just like, amazing. And he's into like a lot of metal music. He's into hip hop. I do kind of censor myself on the hip hop a little bit more, only for the profanity and whatnot.
Yeah.
But there are some songs, there's some tracks that are okay. Like I just think he needs to know. Like again, Public Enemy, Fear of a Black Planet. We play that a lot. Tribe Called Quest, play that. He loves them.
Yeah.
I remember one of my proudest dad moments. Like, hey, hey, Dad, can we listen to Can You Kick It? It's like, yes, son. Yes, we can. Yes, we can. Oh, oh, my baby. Oh, my baby. Yeah. Yeah, he likes all that. He's a big Iron Maiden fan.
Okay.
There's the Toxicity album by System of a Down. He knows from front to back. He's a big fan of Kendrick. Yeah, see that again, like that goes back to things I have to kind of pick and choose what I want to expose them to, because a lot of things, kids are sponges.
Yeah.
They'll put out as much as they take in, and sometimes they'll put out the wrong thing in the wrong setting, like school. So I'm not trying to get like a school calls like your son just said, blah 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 blah. Like okay, but there's some things like with DNA by Kendrick Lamar, All Right by Kendrick Lamar, that I think are necessary.
Yeah.
Because again, like I think militant might be a strong word, but I'm very Black positive. Your viewers can't tell right now. I'm really about our people.
Yeah.
And I think those songs are very positive toward the community.
Yeah.
Especially All Right. It's like, especially in this time, it's like, we're gonna be all right. Yeah, we've been through it before. Been through it, we'll be through it again. Really hope, get over it, because like I'm over it. I'm like, there's a lot of things I've said on social media lately that like I do not care.
Right.
Say something.
Right.
Say something. It's like, oh, but Turkish Burn is like, I don't give a good goddamn about this.
Right.
Yeah. I do want to expose him to a lot of music, a lot of electronic music, because that's what I was exposed to. He's a big fan of a lot of ambient music, because like he goes to sleep to that every night now. I was like, once I start putting him down for sleep, we start winding down the night. I have this one ambient mix, is just all sleep music.
Okay.
That he loves. He loves it just, I try to keep his palette open, because he does have outside influences other than me, like kids at school like bringing home Taylor Swift songs and stuff like that. It's like I can't force my full agenda on him. He has to shape himself.
Right.
But I'll accept, like, all right, you can you listen to some 21 Pilots, but also after that, we gonna listen to some real heavy music.
Right.
So I'll let you have your moment.
Right.
But we're gonna get some screams in there right now, So yeah.
With the YouTube show that you and your son have, Lo-Fi Collective, all the stuff you're doing, like are you like, is there any other ambient albums or anything that you're working on, or are you released yet or anything?
My last ambient album I put out last Halloween, which is it's called Ifa, which is based on the Yoruba religion, which is kind of like tied to like hoodoo, voodoo, and the Orishas and Afrocentric communities. Again, I'm always pushing that, Black power. And each track is based off of an individual Orisha, which is the deities in the religion.
Okay.
So that's out right now. That's on my Bandcamp. Right now, I kind of paused on putting out official music. I've been working on just random tracks during quarantine. I've been titling them like quarantine, social distancing, stuff like that.
Right.
Also, like kind of darker ambient stuff just to kind of reflect what I'm feeling in music, you know, or reflect what I'm feeling in the quarantine through my music. I might put out in that collection on Bandcamp. I'll probably put it out for free because I mean, I did a lot of work on it. I didn't do as much field recording as I usually do with my ambient music or some of my other tracks because I usually try to break out a recorder or my whole setup. You know, I go to like the forest preserve or go by some water or stand outside when it's rainstorm or something like that, trying to get those types of effects to throw in. I didn't really do that with a lot of quarantine because I can't really go anywhere.
Right.
A lot of it is just straight up just programming sounds and tweaking them to sound a little bit more ambient, a little bit more atmospheric. So yeah, that's probably the only thing I have in the pipeline when it comes to the ambient stuff.
Okay.
Other than that, not really working on too much. Okay. Yeah, except for our yeah.
Yeah, man. And once again, just let everybody know where they can see your stuff, where they can hear your music and everything.
You can follow me at I'm Mad Squabbles on Instagram. Not to be confused with the other Mad Squabbles, who's an MC who's actually a really good young kid. And actually, I do suggest checking him out.
Right.
He spelled like I am SQUABBLES, and he has like an LZ on his.
Okay.
I just forgot to spell my own name on his account. You can also get myself, also Matt Squabbles on Bandcamp, where you can find all the ambient music I've put out.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm trying to put up some more of my more up-tempo stuff on there too, but I'm kind of just focused on ambient music right now. Yeah.
Okay. Y'all go check out the YouTube channel. Go check out the Bandcamp. All the music. When I tell y'all this, my brother, he's fire, bro. When I say he's fire, man. And like like for real, and just man, that's all I can say, bro. Like I'm just like it's fire, bro.
I appreciate that. Yeah.
Man, and I want to thank you, bro, for coming and chopping it up with me on the podcast, bro.
This is a pleasure for me. Like I've been wanting to do like click and connect somehow.
Yeah.
And like this means a lot to me that we're doing this, that you invited me on this. So I thank you for having me.
No problem at all, man. And like when I brought my podcast back, especially because I was just like, man, we just here and can't do nothing. I was just like, I got a lot of like friends and people that I admire and they're all indie artists, and I just want to chop it up with them and just, you know, not only get to know things that I may not know, but just like get people out there to like know you guys and check out the art that you guys do, and you are always a person I was just like, I want to chop it up with you, bro. Like, and thank you for wanting to do this, bro.
It's my pleasure.
Amen. And thank y'all again for tuning in to the Dope Sessions podcast. Also, you guys can check out the Dope Sessions playlist that's on Spotify. I've handpicked some songs that from artists that I got to chop it up with on the podcast, and just put like some of my favorite songs from them on the playlist. And I hope you guys are rocking with that and enjoying that. And thank y'all again for tuning in. I'll see y'all next time. Peace.